Abandoned, betrayed, lied to. Scaramouche, throughout his entire life, has searched for a place he can call home. But after 500 years of pain, he gives in to the darkness in an attempt to gain the power of the gods. So in today's video, we shall look back into the Kunigazushi's history to learn of how he became the Wanderer. Don't forget to subscribe and like, and let the tale of Scaramouche begin. Scaramouche, also known as the Kuniguzushi, was originally a puppet created by A to house the Gnosis while she hid away for eternity. But the Kuniguzushi was too emotional to keep Inazuma safe forever. So A, not wanting to discard her own creation, simply sealed his power and put him in a deep sleep. Eventually, the Kuniguzushi awoke from his slumber, believing that the Electro Archon had deemed him unworthy of housing the Gnosis. He would then wander around Inazuma, searching for someone who would accept him. Soon, his mind slowly started to erode, as reality slowly slipped away. But luckily, before the Kunigasushi descended into madness, a man by the name of Katsuguri found a puppet and not wanting to leave the boy to die, brought him back to Terasuna, where he would give him the name the Kabuki Mono in order to hide his royal origins. The Kabuki Mono would forge great bonds with Katsuguri and his group, seeing them almost like family. But these happy times wouldn't last for very long. The Toray, ranked second to the Fatui Harbingers, infiltrated Tarasuna disguised as a man named Ishur. The Toray, under the name Ishur, would revolutionize forging by using crystal marrow, but these crystals were actually the remains of Orobashi, a fallen god that died in the Archon War. These remains contained malevolent energy that slowly began to kill the forgers over time. The Kabuki Mono, scared that his newfound family might die, rushed the Shogun to ask for his assistance. But while the puppet tried to convince the Shogun for help, the Toray murdered Niwa Ishida, one of the Kabuki Mono's most trusted friends. When the Kabuki Mono returned, unsuccessful in getting the Shogun's aid, he was lied to by the Toray and told that Niwa had fled the furnace, leaving his friends to die. Enraged, the Kabuki Mono left Tarasuna. Sometime after leaving Tarasuna, the Kabuki Mono encountered a young boy who was an orphan such as himself. The boy promised that they'd be a family forever, but sadly, this boy had a terrible illness, and he soon died, breaking his promise to Scaramouche. This was the last straw for Scaramouche, and after this death, he was never the same. Before we continue in today's video, make sure to drop a like and subscribe. I'm trying to reach 1K subscribers before the end of the summer, so subscribing would help a ton. Now, let's get back to the video. After the death of the boy, Scaramouche would wander around Inazuma, where the Fatui would eventually recruit him. This would ignite a dark spark within Scaramouche that would eventually tear him in two. After joining the Fatui, the Jester would bring Scaramouche to Toray, where the Doctor would begin to do unspeakable things to Scaramouche, experimenting with the limits of his body. Scaramouche many times found himself at death's door, only surviving because his body was made to house the divine power of the Gnosis. After he survived these experiments, he would go on to complete many missions for Piero, and throughout these missions, one thing lingered throughout his head: revenge for what he thinks Niwa Hashida did. So Scaramouche, or rather the Balladeer, returned to Inazuma and slaughtered 3 of the 5 schools teaching the writing Gokoten. But when it came to kill the users of the ancient art, Scaramouche became overwhelmed with multiple emotions and decided to spare the users of the art. Now, the first time the traveler meets the Balladeer is in a secret delusion facility run by the Fatui. There, the Balladeer tricks the traveler into succumbing to the power of the old gods of Inazuma, but luckily Yaimiko would save us by trading the Electro-Gnosis for our safety. After getting the Electro-Gnosis, the Balladeer cut off all connection to the Fatui and went to rogue, but the Toray still had complete faith that Scaramouche would return, searching for power that can rival the gods. And soon he would return, asking for help. The Toray would lend Scaramouche all his abilities alongside the Sumer Academia, and then this would allow Scaramouche to ascend to godhood, becoming the new god of wisdom under the name Shuki no Kami. The traveler would eventually battle the Shuki no Kami and lose for exactly 168 times. And this is where Nahida would indeed say the famous words:
The data collection is almost complete. even know how many times you've tried to take my gnosis from me? We just concluded the 168th loop.
After the battle, Nahida would then lock Scaramouche in prison. But this was not the end of his story. Nahida, believing that Scaramouche could be more than a piece of metal rotting away in prison, struck a deal with him. He would have his freedom if he worked for Nahida, similar to how he worked for Tui. His first mission for Nahida was to travel into Irminsul to possibly gather information for the traveler. But once he communed with Irminsul, he realized the doctor had tricked him all those years ago at the furnace, making him believe that Niwa had betrayed him, when truly he was the one who was murdered. Now, understanding everything, Scaramouche believed that everyone who died or had suffered because of his actions would be able to live once again. So, in the ultimate sacrifice, he altered Irminsul's history, making the entire world forget Scaramouche the Kabuki Mono.
From this day forth, the names Balladeer and Kabuki Mono will cease to exist. Those who died in Tatarasuna because of me deserve another chance at life.
Okay, maybe it wasn't the greatest sacrifice in the world, but you get what I mean. But changing time isn't as simple as what Scaramouche did to Irminsul. Instead of Scaramouche never being created, he was simply forgotten in everything that he did, like the killing of the swordsmith. It was all replaced with a legends of an evil assassin. But our traveler is an outlander, a descender, a witness to the events of this world. The traveler's memory cannot be altered, and so the traveler would immediately recognize Scaramouche wandering around Sumeru City, which is kind of confusing. Why isn't he in the land of lost snakes? Ninjaku Dragon's Rising reference aside, the traveler offered Scaramouche a second chance, a chance to regain his memories and right his wrongs. Yet, knowing that the memories he might regain may be terrible, Wanderer still wished to learn them, in hopes that it might give him the one thing he always wished for: freedom. And so, the Wanderer is confronted by his past atrocities. Everything rushed to his head in seconds. But here, Scaramouche understands everything. From his creation, destruction, all is revealed. And so, the Wanderer accepts everything: the Kunkatsushi, the Kabuki Mono, the Balladeer, Scaramouche, Shuki no Kami. He'll take all the good parts and be reborn. The flames have calmed, and within the ashes, he has been reborn. And that is what I believe is a great end to Scaramouche's story, at least for now. When a war eventually does come to a bat, I believe Nahida and Wanderer will play a big role in the story once again. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys Sunday, and